We often don't realize that we are the key to our own happiness, and that happiness starts with healing and transformation. Whether you need healing, guidance, clarity, understanding, or just some honest sister talk to feel connected, heard, and supported, you are welcome and safe here. So join the conversation and be healed. Welcome to Soul Healing Conversations with your host, Roz Kincaid.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Soul Healing Conversations. I'm your host, Roz Kincaid. I'm a certified spiritual life coach, empowerment coach, and intuitive healer. And today I'm going to be talking about the tension in manifesting. If you've been listening to the podcast for a while, or even if you're new, I always like to do a little bit of housekeeping and share with you what I have going on right now. So let me go down my little list here and give you the nitty-gritty. First thing is our Soul Expansion Soundboard. Every other Friday, my friend and peer coach, Julian Crossan Hill, and I go live on Facebook and YouTube for some open conversation about all kinds of topics. It's a space where we get to connect with you and engage with you. You get to ask us questions, share your insights, as well as share your comments with us. Our next live stream is going to be coming up on Friday, October 21st at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Listen, if you can't join us, that's fine, no worries. Be sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel and my Facebook page for all the replays. The next thing I have for you is Living in the Know Transformational Journey. If you're having a hard time setting boundaries, if you're having a hard time holding boundaries, you need help getting better at saying no, or you just want to stop feeling guilty or obligated when somebody asks you to do something that you know that you don't want to be doing, then check out Living in the Know Transformational Journey. This is a 12-week self-paced program all about learning how to let your yes be yes and your no be no so that you can experience some peace and ease and balance in your life instead of feeling overwhelmed and burned out all the damn time. Like, we all deserve to be at peace and have peace and calm in our life. I recently dropped the price on this one, so go check it out if it seems right for you. I also have availability for intuitive readings if you need some life path guidance or you just want to connect with a loved one who's passed away. Typically, for a lot of us, this is the time of year where we look back over the year and evaluate how we want to move forward in the coming year, but we're not exactly sure how best to do that, or you just need some spiritual guidance to help you in your planning or manifestation process. Plus, this time of year is when we're thinking more about the people who have passed on or are missing our deceased loved ones just a bit more. So if that's you, then I invite you to book a session with me. I do have some space available for intuitive readings. And of course, if you're feeling the nudge to work with me one-on-one, I do have some slots available open for empowerment private coaching. This is where you and I work together through any challenges or any issues that you're currently facing. Now, until I start to see more of a pattern with my clients, I like to leave things open for you to work through and process through whatever is troubling you or in your way. Private coaching is where we get our hands dirty. It's where we get in there and work through things and get honest about things. It's where I support you in taking your power back and helping you see where you can take guided, aligned action to move forward towards all the wonderful things that you want in your life. I recently made some changes to the program to make this container a bit more accessible. Right now I'm offering single sessions. I'm also offering a 1-month container as well as a 3 and 6-month container. So be sure to check out my private coaching offerings because there may be something out there that's just right for you if you feel ready for coaching. All the links to everything that I'm offering are in the show description, so check it out to learn more. Okay, let's get into today's topic about the tension in manifesting. Okay, so a lot of times when we're trying to create things or manifest something in our life and it doesn't seem to be happening for us, we tend to experience a lot of frustration that can show itself as anger, agitation, or even feeling burnt out and disappointment. I'll add to that. Well, that's how it comes up for me most of the time. Let me explain. For a large part of the year, I've been in some way, shape, or form in a creative process with very little breaks in between. I went from creating one program to reshaping my private coaching program, working with my clients, restarting this podcast, writing emails, writing blog posts, co creating a money mindset program, and now I'm working on something new. Oh, and not to mention, I was trying for another baby that just didn't pan out. Side note, if you're interested in hearing me share more about that journey, then check out episode 41. I talk all about what happened and how it all kind of unfolded for me. So the fact that I'm a human design generator and I have Aries, Taurus, and Virgo in my birth chart, not only is there a tendency for a lot of physical doing for me, but there's also the mental doing that plays a large part in my creativity and manifesting. This can either work for me or against me in that too much actioning can cause there to be lots of force. And if you're listening to this and nodding your head, then I know I'm not the only one. So, in our patterns of getting things done or making it happen, our efforts can sometimes be counterproductive or delay our wishes. And last month, that's what I was starting to feel. So much so, I was losing sleep, and I even had the worst migraine headache that I've ever had. I mean, the worst. Peripherals were gone. I had nausea, headache, the whole nine. It was awful, and it lasted for a couple of days. Absolutely dreadful. A lot of times when we're constantly in this doing energy, the masculine energy, the get shit done energy, we totally overlook what's happening in our body and in our energy until that proverbial dam starts to crack, where now I'm feeling bad. Nothing is going the way I want it or need it to, and I'm just outright frustrated and exhausted. And that's what got my attention. But then, in the midst of me feeling like I was about to pop with all this frustration, my coach reached out to me out of the blue, and the conversation that she and I had just made it all clear for me. What she explained to me was that all the pushing, all the pulling, the overplanning, the force, and later the frustration were all signs that expansion is actually happening. Two things I want to point out here is that one, when we're in it, it doesn't seem like we're pushing, pulling, or forcing things. All we know is that the shit ain't working. And then the frustration, disappointment, or burnout enters in and says, hey, you might be doing too much, or something's not quite right here. The other thing is that if you allow yourself to become aware and stop whatever you're doing just for a minute and get curious about why you're so frustrated, disappointed, or burned out, that you'll find the answer. Now, let me tie in this whole expansion piece in for you because that's part of the answer and the wisdom that frustration or disappointment or burnout is trying to give to you. Okay, so your mind is actually acutely aware that you're in overwhelm and that things aren't progressing the way that you want them to. And we as humans have this habit of continuing to do things that don't support us, but we do them anyway. Completely common, normal, no judgment. However, this breeds more frustration and overwhelm and striving, which is an unproductive way to regulate things for ourselves. This is also an indication that your approach to creating or manifesting is overly action based, and masculine and more feminine energy is necessary right now. At this point, your body signals are full of masculinity, action, striving, and pushing, and all that is going out to God in the universe. And you know what happens at that point. Source in the universe is going to respond to you by aligning you with the same vibration that you're putting out. So if you want to be experiencing more ease, it requires that you find the conditions to place ease inside of your body so that you emit that and get that back. To create space and expansion, you have to find the conditions to create ease, not just in your body, but in your emotions and in your spirit. In other words, if you want your desires to come to you more easily and softly, then you're going to have to create those conditions inside of you first so that it has the space and the right conditions to even exist. Okay, take money for example. The energy of money will not flow to you when you're tense and frantic or worried about it coming. The energy of anything where it flows where there is space and the conditions of the container, that container being you, are correct for holding it. It's the same concept as pouring new wine into old wineskins. It's like placing a heart in someone else's body during a heart transplant and the heart not taken because the conditions of the body aren't a true match. Here's another thing. One of the biggest reasons why people don't stay devoted to their goals or dreams is because there's a requirement for us to grow and expand to meet the demands of that goal or dream. So you have a vibration, and what you want has a vibration. In order for you to realize that goal or dream, you personally have to grow and expand first to meet the vibration of that goal or desire. You can't just wait until you have what you want to decide that you're going to just shift and grow. Yes, what you want wants you, but it also is waiting on you to grow for it to exist and to be held within you and in your life. So you first. So all this frustration and tension is actually good news because you wouldn't even be feeling what you feel if your breakthrough, your goals, and your desires weren't on the way or if they were plateauing. So what are some things that we can do to shift from the frustration, disappointment, and burnout or anger into ease and calm and flow so that there's expansion and space for your manifestations to be realized? I got 4 strategies for you. First, pause. Just take a step back. Dial back the action and the time spent physically doing and increase your intention on your mindset and your vision for what you want. Number 2, go for a walk. Get some physical movement. Sit in the sun or outside. Smell some essential oils. Listen to some music. Just do something that will put your body, your emotional state, and your energy into a higher frequency than the one you're in right now. Number 3, allow yourself to switch from being action-oriented to vision-based, where for the next few moments you sit in a quiet space and imagine that what you want is yours. I'm talking about things like manifestation, doing yoga nidras, or creating a board on Pinterest or Canva, whatever floats your boat. The key is to get yourself in a space where you can visualize what you want to be experiencing in your life right now. Something that feels easeful so that you can allow that to come into your being. Oh, and give yourself permission to allow quiet space to have music playing in the background. Like, I realize that some of you listening to this haven't gotten to the point yet where you're able to sit in dead silence. I haven't. So don't put any undue pressure on yourself here. And last, realize that the fact that all of this is coming up for you now says that you are certainly connected to God and consciousness and most certainly being cared for and guided. If you're experiencing any of what I've been talking about, then understand that this is part of what being supported looks like and is like. Being supported isn't always about God doing everything for you. You're a creator and a co-creator with Source and the universe. You get to be supported while doing your part of the manifestation process. Most of the time, we have to prepare ourselves to receive. And what I've talked about this entire time is about you being prepared and creating the conditions to get your wish fulfilled or your prayers answered. That's really it. And that's the realization that I came to when I was having that conversation with my coach. And another thing, stop tying God's hands behind his back and putting a timeline on everything. He knows the timeline already. He owns it. You don't have to worry about a timeline or when things are going to happen unless it supports you in making the moves that you need to make. So just ease up off the timelines, please. Do yourself a favor. All right, y'all. That's all I have for you today. Hopefully, what I've shared starts to open your awareness as to where you may need to throttle back a little bit in your process to manifest or create things in your life. We are creators. That's what we do. But sometimes you got to slow down or back off to speed things up. Got it? Cool. Again, don't forget to check out the info in the show description for all my offerings and ways to connect with me. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye. Hey, and thanks so much for hanging in there with me all the way to the end of the podcast. I hope you got lots of value from today's episode and feel more empowered and more inspired than you did before. If you enjoyed this episode as much as I did doing it, then share it with somebody that might resonate with it. Also, I would really appreciate it if you could leave me a 5-star review to help me get the word out about the show. And if at any point you have questions or topics you want me to riff about, as you can see, I like to talk, then I invite you to get on my social media platforms and just message me. And if you're feeling the nudge to work with me, then check out my offerings on my website. Everything you need to connect with me is in the show notes. So until next time, be empowered.